Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
What's good, y'all? It's your man, Hezo, and welcome back to the Blacktop, where I always got next, you feel me? Oh, man, I don't even know what to say anymore, man. I really don't.
Oh, no! We suck again!
This isn't going to be a very long recap. Shout out to the Magic, man. They absolutely balled. They balled this game. Shout out to Bobo. I think he's the most improved player. He has played incredible all season long since he's gotten minutes, and this kid deserves most improved. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Leave a like on the video. We are just about at our 900 subs. So again, that 1,000 is right around the corner. Y'all keep in mind, I am going to be away for the week of Christmas, so I'm not going to be getting out any content. So if y'all want that jersey giveaway, we gotta get to 1,000 by the end of this year. With that being said, let's get right into it. So the Hawks now fall under 500 for the first time this season, now 14-15. The story of this game was the first quarter. Listen, man, shout out to the Magic. They played well tonight. Shout out to Bobo. I think Bobo, to me, is the most improved player this season. He had an incredible game tonight. He was playing defense. He was running the floor, getting into transition. His skill set is something like we have never seen before at 7'2", and a lot of people say he's Victor Wembanyama before he even gets to the league. I love Bobo's game. I think he really is going to be a good player in this league now that he's finally finding some minutes. I think he truly does deserve most improved player. Paolo Banchero had a solid game overall. Didn't shoot particularly well, but he had a lot of big offensive rebounds down the stretch of the game. And again, the story of this game was the first quarter. When you give up a 50-point first quarter to this Magic team, who is not a good team, no disrespect, the Magic are not a good team. And I get it, on a 3-game win streak coming into this game, but a 50-point first quarter to a team that this was a record for most points in a quarter for the Orlando Magic franchise, and you're down by almost 30 in the first quarter. That's unacceptable, man. That is absolutely unacceptable. And there's not too many games where you're going to be able to come back from almost 30 points down. It's just too hard, man. I know the game is a game of runs, and it's a make or miss league and all this other blah 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 blah. Listen, man, when you go down by almost 30 in the fourth quarter, it's unacceptable. There's no other way to put it. This Hawks team came out flat. They came out with no energy. They weren't playing defense. There was no effort, and they looked atrocious. Nate McMillan did not do a good job of preparing these guys for this game tonight. I don't care about the injuries, man. I don't care that JC and DeJounte Murray were not in the lineup. That's not an excuse to be down by 30 at the end of the first quarter against a team that is one of the worst teams in basketball. Again, no disrespect to the Magic because they balled out tonight. Shout out to them. Markelle Fultz had a very good game. Again, I already said Bobo. Franz Wagner had a very solid game. Mo Bamba came in, knocking down threes off the bench, playing defense, blocking shots. When you look at the box score, the Magic really played well the entire game with their guys. I mean, they had like eight guys in double figures, and almost every guy that touched the court tonight played relatively well for the most part. Now, Atlanta went on a second quarter run, cut the lead down to 14 behind my boy Dre. Listen, man, if it wasn't for DeAndre Hunter, Atlanta wouldn't even been in this game. And I'm going to touch on the second half here in just a second. DeAndre Hunter had a 20-point second quarter and really was the only source of offense for Atlanta to get back in this game. Trey was not playing well. Now, he did have like 15 assists on the night, which was dope to see. Bogey was not shooting well. He had a couple big shots in the fourth quarter, but it really didn't matter at that point. But Dre was the only source of offense. AJ Griffin had some nice buckets, but they just couldn't find any offense outside of DeAndre Hunter. They cut the lead. They went on a huge run in the second quarter and cut the lead down to 14 going into halftime. But the Magic weathered the storm in the second half. They just kept fighting and keeping their lead alive. Atlanta throughout the second half, they cut it down to single digits, cut it down to 9 points, 8 points a couple times, but just could not get enough stops at the end of the day to fully climb back into the game to be able to try and come out with a win. And again, shout out to the Magic. They stayed composed. When you have a young team that lets up a big run like that to let a team back in the game, you think that they're going to implode and they're probably going to blow it. The Magic didn't do that tonight, man. And credit to the head coach, credit to the players. They just played a very well composed game. They held their lead and they knocked down shots. They got big offensive rebounds and they kept the pressure on Atlanta. And and was able to come out with the dub. DeAndre Hunter took 4 shots the entire second half. The entire second half, DeAndre Hunter took 4 shots after having a 20-point second quarter, took 4 shots and got to the line twice. They were not running sets for him. They were not getting him in a pick and roll. They were not getting him off of screens. They completely went away from what was working the entire second quarter to get back into the game. That is bad coaching. At some point, when are we going to look at Nate? Now, I get it. We have injuries. That's fine. But there's no reason why why we should be consistently losing to bad teams. Again, no disrespect to the Magic. I like the guys that they have. They have a lot of young talent, but they're not there yet, man. They're still considered a bad team. They were on a 3-game win streak. I get all that, but they still only have now 9 wins on the season, man. They're not a good team. They're one of the worst defensive teams in basketball. There's no reason why Atlanta should not have won this game, even without DeJounte and even without John Collins in the lineup. It is just an unacceptable performance from the Hawks, but shout out to the Magic because they did their job. Again, at some point, we got to look at Nate McMillan, man. Like I said, we are now like 3-10 in the last 13 games, and we're not a good team. I'm going to be honest. This team is not a good team right now, and I get it. We have injuries, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that, man. There's games that we should not be losing. There's games that we blow big leads constantly, man. I feel like a fucking broken record every single time I come on here and do a recap, and it's so frustrating when you watch a team give up 50 points in the first quarter and down by 30. How the hell are you supposed to come back from that, man? What do you say in a timeout? Oh, you're down by 30. Let's take it one possession at a time. Man, forget that. Get that bullshit out of here. Nate McMillan's got to go. I'll be honest with you. I don't really see him leading this team. It was nice to see him finally get fired up and get a tech tonight when we were down by like 27. I just don't see us going anywhere if Nate McMillan is the head coach by the end of the year. Now, hopefully, once we get healthy, I don't know, maybe we can string together some wins, but it's so hard to tell, man, because this team is just so damn inconsistent. You know, when they come off that awesome Bulls win off of a game winner by AJ Griffin, and then we have 4, 5 big rotation guys out against Memphis, missing 4 starters and Bogey. We get blown out that game, and then you come out, which is supposed to be kind of like a bounce back game with guys back in the lineup, and you're down by 30 at the end of the first quarter? Like, I don't even know, man. I just don't even have any more words. Again, I can't even give the Magic enough credit because they weathered the storm of the Hawks run to get back into the game. When the Hawks would cut it down to 8 or 9, the Magic would hit a 3. Mo Bamba would hit a 3, or Bobo would hit a 3. Franz Wagner would hit a 3. Paolo would hit a 3. Somebody was always knocking down a clutch 3. I mean, look at the end of the third quarter when Terrence Ross hit that huge 3 off that dumbass Okongwu turnover. Terrence Ross comes down, hits a 3 at the buzzer to put it back to 11 at the end of the third quarter. It was always something, man. Giving up offensive rebounds. Okongwu has been bad. He's been bad. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna start campaigning for him to be moved by the deadline, man. I am. I like his potential, but he's too small. And when you're that small and you don't have enough strength to play the center position, he can't rebound on the defensive end. He's a decent offensive rebounder, but he cannot crash the glass on the defensive end. We got killed on the glass tonight once again. Clint Capella got hurt once again, but he was pretty much non-existent on the glass. He had a couple nice finishes, with the alleys and all that, but he wasn't really crashing the glass either. So again, shout out to the Magic, man. I want to hear from some Magic fans in the comments. They absolutely balled, and you got to give credit where credit is due. The Hawks just got flat out outplayed, man. They got outplayed and were not prepared for the Magic tonight. I really just don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. I'm over it. We're a bad team. It's just that simple. And you can blame it on the injuries. You can blame it on whatever you want, but there's no excuse for this team with as much talent as they have to continue to lose the way that they do. It's frustrating when I see Jalen Johnson out on the 3-point line consistently, and he's not a 3-point shooter. He kept taking threes. I get it, man. He makes one every now and then, but he's not a 3-point shooter. The bench is still bad with our starting 2 of our starters out, and I'm not blaming the injuries. Now against Memphis, yes, I will blame the injuries because we had 5 key guys, our top five, damn near our top 5 players out of the lineup against Memphis. I mean, we really had DeAndre Hunter and AJ Griffin versus Memphis, but they didn't have Ja Morant. They had no Ja, they had no Desmond Bane, they had no Steven Adams, and we still got blown out. Look at the difference, man. You know the reason for that? Because they have an excellent coach. They have Taylor Jenkins, who's one of the best coaches in basketball, as opposed to Nate McMillan, who doesn't know how to prepare for a lottery team. I'm done, man. I'm done. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm done. I'm gonna pretty much leave it there. I don't have any final takeaways. The final takeaway was that we gave up 50 points in the first quarter. That's my takeaway. If you don't give up 50 points in the first quarter and you're not down by 30, maybe we win this game. That's the only takeaway that I have from this game. Again, shout out to the Magic. Shout out to Bobo. I really hope this kid wins Most Improved Player because I hate when guys like Ja Morant, win Most Improved Player when they are expected to take that next step, when they're expected to leap into superstardom and they get Most Improved Player, as opposed to a guy like Desmond Bane, who was a late first-round pick that balled out last year but doesn't win it. And I know it's going to be the same thing this year when Bobo's probably not going to win the award, but he deserves it. The Magic got a bright future with this team, with Paolo Banchero, who's a stud, with Bobo, and now they're going to potentially get maybe another top 5 pick. And I'll tell you what, man, if they get Victor Wembanyama, it's GG's. This team will be incredible, and they'll be in the playoffs by next year. I'm calling it if they get Victor in the draft. That's all I got, man. Leave your thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about this game overall. Let me know what you thought about the 50-point first quarter that the Magic had. Again, Magic fans, if y'all watch this video, I would like to hear from y'all and what y'all think about y'all's direction of this team going forward. Leave a like on the video, and I will catch y'all next episode.